Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another range report. And today's range report is on a really nice, compact 2011 style pistol from Staccato. This is the C2. Yeah, I've reviewed other Staccatos in the recent past and really enjoyed shooting them and found a great appreciation for them, where in the past I may have overlooked them. But before I talk more about this pistol and things I like and don't like and get to the shooting footage, I want to thank the people that always make these videos possible. First and foremost is the owner of this fine pistol, D. Thank you so much for lending it to the channel and allowing me to shoot it. I want to thank my Patreons as always, because through their monthly donation and support they help keep the lights on around here by helping me afford equipment to keep this content coming to you. And as always, the person that supplies all of the ammo for these range reports, thus making them financially feasible, that is my good friend Mark from Brownworks. You guys know I talk about Brownworks in every single one of these range reports and do a little live read for him. He is an artist. He makes fine custom wood grips for a wide variety of firearms out of a lot of different exotic woods and materials. He can make grips for things like 1911s, Beretta 92s, and CZs, just to name a few. But tonight we're going to do it a little bit different because Mark is asking for your help. He gets a lot of requests for different grips, but he doesn't have all of them available yet. But he wants to know, what are people really looking for? So please go over to his website and you are going to see a link on his website about grips that are requested. Click that link and go and vote in his poll. He wants to know, what are you guys looking for? Because he wants to best serve your needs. And there's a whole list of guns there that people may want custom grips for. And of course, he spends a lot of time in research and development tracking down the specs of all these grips to make sure they have a perfect fit. So before he takes all the time and makes one of these new grips for a new gun, he wants to know, what are you guys looking for? Go over there, check out his website, see everything he currently has to offer. You may find something that you really like. I know that I'm rolling in a few pictures here showing you his amazing work, but maybe what he has to offer isn't what you're looking for right now. But guess what? You can go over and vote in his poll. Tell him, hey, I'm looking for a grips for a Kimber K6S. I really want some. And maybe you'll win that poll and help him design them because he got enough votes to say, hey, it's time for me to make them. I know there's demand for them. So go over there, take time, check out his website. As I said, see what he has to offer. And if you contact Mark, please tell him the Texas Gun Vault sent you. All right, so exactly what is the Staccato C2? Well, I have reviewed other Staccatos in the past, and they were more of the full-sized offerings with compensators. This really is more of a compact version. I wouldn't really say it's equivalent to a Colt officer model. It seems to be a little bit bigger, but the frame is definitely shorter. The magazine capacity is only 16 rounds, and of course the slide is a little bit shorter. So I'm not really sure if you would designate this as a compact or a subcompact. It's definitely smaller than a Glock 19, but bigger than a Colt officer size. So you're really gonna have to decide what size is this and what would you call it. I'm gonna say it's a compact for right now, but it is a great balanced firearm. Okay, so let's talk about what I like about this gun, and there's a lot to like about this gun. Number one, the quality. I have reviewed a number of these Staccatos in the recent past, and as I said, the quality of these guns is simply off the chart. And I've already talked about the size of this gun. I really like this. Normally when it comes to firearms, I like the full-size versions of the guns. Normally, the compacts and subcompacts don't interest me as much, but the balance of this gun, the size, especially because it's only chambered in 9mm and not 45, I really think it's really nice. It's a great size. Something else, and I'm not going to do it here on camera, but the disassembly of this gun is very easy. Some of the other Staccatos have very complex recoil spring mechanisms that require either a special tool or something else to disassemble it. You don't need it with this gun. The recoil system in this is just kind of a standard guide rod, and there is no tool needed for disassembly. So I really like that about this gun a whole bunch. Then there's the trigger. Man, Staccatos have fantastic triggers out of the box. And when it comes to high-end 1911s, you demand and expect a great trigger, and Staccato definitely delivers. Plus, I like the fact this one has a curved trigger. You guys know I like the curved triggers more than the flat-face triggers, so gets a lot of points in my book for that. All right, let's talk about just a couple of things about this gun that I don't like, and it has to do with the controls. Now, I do have to say, I like the safety on this gun. It's ambidextrous, and the levers are extended on both sides, so they're very easy to actuate. But one thing I have said that I wish Staccato added to their guns was an extended slide release. I actually find it with these larger frames that take these double stack magazines, it's kind of hard for me to reach around and reach that slide release. I kind of wish that they would extend that, make it come around the frame a little bit more. I know that some 1911 companies offer that, and I don't know if those extended slide releases would work on this frame, but I wish Staccato would offer those. And who knows, maybe they do. It's just the models that I have reviewed have not had them, and I wish that this one did. I think that would make the controls of this gun absolutely perfect, because everything else about this gun is great. The mag release, easy to get to. As I said, the safety, it's all right there. The grip safety, easily actuated. It is a fantastic, well thought out, well built gun. I just wish that slide release had a little bit of an extension to it. I think it would just make releasing the slide that much easier. The last thing about this gun that I don't like, and it might not necessarily be the gun, but more the optic. Now, the owner of this pistol has put on a Trigicon. See if I can get that into focus there. Now, this Trigicon is one of the best red dots on the market. Now, we also have some high visibility and suppressor height sights that will co-witness through that Trigicon. Now, because the sights are like this, when you do use an optic, I actually find that it makes the very small window on this Trigicon even smaller because you have the sights in the way. And I found that this gun kind of flips a little bit. Now, I'm going to talk about that after I shoot it. It's not a high recoiling gun, but maybe because of its shorter frame size, it just has a little bit more muzzle flip, and reacquiring that red dot is a little bit tricky with as much space as the sights take up and as small as the window is. But I'm not really going to deduct any points for the gun because I said this is more of an optic thing than a gun thing. But upon just looking at it here on the workbench and getting it to the range, I just don't like those sights. I might want a different sight setup completely or a different optic. But as I said, it's not the gun's fault per se because you can change out the optic to something else. All right, so that's what I like and don't like about this particular gun. Let's now get it to the range. Let's look at some of this range footage. I'm going to show you my first shots through this. I'm going to load up one of these magazines with 15 or 16 rounds and set up the target at 7 yards. Just see how I do and how the gun shoots. And so the gun shot pretty good for me. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. I have to say the gun does have a little bit more muzzle flip than I was expecting. I mentioned this earlier in the video, and that meant reacquiring the red dot was a little bit harder. The window in this Trigicon is just a little bit small, but the trigger is fantastic. All right, so now I'm going to set out the target at a little bit further distance, about double the distance, maybe about 12 to 15 yards, put another magazine through it. I'm going to go for the head on this IDPA target. I'm curious how this group's going to open up. I haven't shot it great so far, but hopefully this group will be better. And that group's okay, but still not my best. I might have to adjust the red dot just a little bit, but all the shots were on target. Granted, they were at the edge, and I think I had one flyer in there. But this trigger is really, really good. I do like it, and I think it's one of the best attributes of this small 1911. All right, so now I'm gonna give my wife Becky a shot. You guys know I love her to shoot every firearm that comes through the Texas Gun Vault because she's a different type of shooter than I am, and she judges these pistols often on different criteria. So let me get this in her hands and let's see what she has to say. So after shooting it, she said she liked it just like the other Staccatos. Her only two small gripes were, once again, just like me, the fact that after you shoot it, it's kind of hard to get that red dot reacquired, but that's once again a sighting issue, not really a gun issue. But the one thing that she said is she thought the trigger was a little bit long. She shot many other 1911s and 2011s in the past, and I think she likes the medium length or the short length trigger. This is a little bit longer maybe than the standard. For me, it's perfectly fine, but she thought the trigger was just a little bit too long and would probably want it changed out to something a little bit shorter. But that's a very small complaint, and she said she could definitely get used to it. And I think a lot of this complaint has to do with the fact that she has smaller hands. All right, so the next test I want to do, like always, is the quick magazine change, maybe the competitive use or the defensive use of this handgun. Can I shoot this thing fast, drop the magazine, get a new one back in? Well, this is a race gun, and like the other Staccatos, I think I can do it pretty fast. So let's see. And like the other Staccatos, these magazines just fly right out of there. I love that. And reinserting is really easy with this really nice mag well. So it's the same as all of the other Staccatos. It's really fast and really easy. Plus, this trigger being so nice, I thought I shot it pretty fast. So I'm happy with that. All right, next test as always. Well, if you're going to carry this for defensive use, will it run hollow points? I know it's going to, but I always have to make sure. So we're going to put some Federal Hydroshock through this and just see if I have any issues. And as expected, no issues whatsoever. So I think this thing will feed any hollow points that you put through it. I did notice with that ammo that this gun did recoil just a little bit more. So when you put the plus P through it, you notice it more than maybe you do the other Staccatos. But it is smaller, and I think all of this muzzle flip issue is just because of the sight radius, the length of the slide, and the size of the frame. But it's nothing really to be too concerned about. It's still a pretty hefty 9mm. It's just different than those other Staccatos that I have shot. All right, I want to shoot this thing one more time, and I'm just going to do a complete mag dump with it. This trigger is fast, and while this is probably not a great test to show off the gun, well, it is really fun just to shoot guns fast, and I just love to do it. So you guys gotta watch. Man, is this trigger nice. And I have to say, shooting it that fast and pretty much just point shooting, I think I hit the target every time but one. So that was actually pretty impressive too. So the gun likes to be run fast. Just what a great trigger, and I think hands down, as I said, the trigger is the best thing about this particular firearm. So what are my final thoughts on the Staccato C2? Well, out of all the Staccatos that I have shot so far, this one might be my favorite. I definitely don't shoot it the best, but it's a more balanced firearm. I like the size of it. I think the philosophy of a double stack 1911 really kind of fits the role in more of a compact gun better. I'd like the fact that it doesn't have a compensator. I know the compensators are cool and everyone wants one, but for me, it doesn't need it. Yeah, as I said, the gun has a little bit more muzzle flip, but it has to do more with the frame size than anything else. The compensator would just add more muzzle flash, and I don't know if this gun necessarily needs it. This gun, I think, fits many roles. It could be a great range gun, it could also be a great concealed carry weapon, and a home defense firearm, and probably also a competition gun. So I think if you're looking for just one Staccato, this one might fit many roles that you might be looking for. So I have really enjoyed this one. It has been a lot of fun to shoot. I just didn't shoot it as accurate as the others. So on my star system, how would I rate the Staccato C2? Well, this one I think is almost a perfect review. If I would have shot it personally just a little bit better, and it didn't have that extra muzzle flip, it'd easily be 5 out of 5 stars. However, it's really close. 4.75 stars out of 5, almost perfect. But this is by far my favorite Staccato that I have shot so far. It's really the type of 1911 or 2011 that I would be most interested in. So if I ended up ever getting a Staccato, this might be the size and the model I would be most interested in. I might run a different optic though, something that has a little bit bigger window. So anyway, that is my final thoughts on this amazing 2011. Once again, thank you, Dee, for lending it to the channel. It has been so much fun to shoot. So what do you guys think? Do you like this model more or less than the other Staccatos that I've shot? What do you think of it? Do you like its philosophy of use and what it is? A double stack compact 2011 chambered in 9mm? I know some people think 1911 should only be chambered in 45. So I wonder if those people are going to chime in. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.